really how she pulled me, man. That's the question, man.
Simone Biles' husband recently said that he thinks he's the catch in their relationship.
I was fighting it. I was afraid to commit. But, like I said, man, it happened when you least expect it.
And yes, I'm talking about the Simone Biles, one of the greatest gymnasts of all time. So who exactly is her husband? Is he really better known than she is? And what does Simone think about his bizarre claims? Simone's husband's name is Jonathan Owens, and I would not blame you if you haven't heard of him. Jonathan, unlike his superstar wife, really isn't that famous at all. To be fair to Jonathan, he has found a level of success that is worthy of admiration, but he doesn't have anywhere near the accolades that Simone has. He's a safety in the NFL and currently plays for the Green Bay Packers. So he's not just some regular Joe. He plays football at a very high level. He isn't, however, one of the greatest football players who have ever lived. He's not even one of the best current NFL players. In actuality, he went undrafted, was signed by the Cardinals in 2018, and has since had a pretty uneven career. He has spent quite a lot of time relegated to his team's practice squads. I'm not trying to insult him for struggling to make active rosters. I mean, you have to be very, very good at football to even make an NFL practice squad. There's no doubt that Jonathan is a far better athlete than most of us. However, Simone is clearly and without a doubt more accomplished in her sport than Jonathan is in his. Simone has 4 Olympic gold medals, 23 World Championship gold medals, and she even has 5 moves named after her, while Jonathan has mostly helped fill out practice roster. I mean, it's pretty obvious who's more accomplished. Actually, I should say it's pretty obvious to those of us who aren't Jonathan, because he doesn't seem to understand the difference between his career and Simone's career as well as the rest of us do. Apparently, he thinks that his occasional appearances on Sunday Night Football stack up with Simone's 4 Olympic gold medals. During a very recent appearance on the Pivot podcast, Jonathan was asked how he managed to pull Simone, how he managed to convince her to be with him. The host of the podcast seemed to be implying what the rest of us can plainly see, that Simone's fame and success is leagues beyond Jonathan's. But Jonathan's answer was definitely not what the host expected it would be. According to Jonathan, he didn't pull Simone, she pulled him. He claimed that when they first started talking, he wasn't so sure that he wanted to be with her. He said that he was afraid of commitment at the time, but apparently Simone was persistent and eventually convinced him that she was the one for him. Jonathan and Simone first connected on a dating app called Raya. You won't believe what I'm about to say next, but Jonathan claimed during his appearance on the podcast that he didn't even know who Simone was when they matched. He said that he never really paid attention to gymnastics, so he hadn't heard of her, which is totally insane. I mean, almost everyone knows who Simone Biles is, whether they follow gymnastics or not. Her performance at the 2016 Olympic Games alone received enormous media coverage. If Jonathan was on even one social media app at the time, it should have been nearly impossible not to hear something about her. I'll leave it up to you to decide if he was telling the truth, but even if Jonathan was being totally honest, and he was clueless about Simone's fame before they met on Raya, he probably should have learned to appreciate the extent of her greatness more than he does. During his appearance on the Pivot podcast, he made the now infamous claim that he was the catch, not her, which I just find totally crazy. Even if he didn't know who she was initially, he should still recognize now that Simone has accomplished incredible things, and he should absolutely feel like she is a huge catch. To be totally honest, even if Simone wasn't one of the greatest athletes of all time, it's still pretty rude for someone to tell the world that they themselves were the catch rather than their partner. Fans have been absolutely disgusted with Jonathan for his comments. They've been ripping him apart on social media and calling for Simone to leave him and find someone who will appreciate her more. I don't really want to tell Simone what to do. She understands their relationship dynamics much better than any of us do. But I have to say, I think people are justified in their anger. Simone gave us a deeper look into Jonathan's mentality a few days after his podcast appearance. During an interview on Peacock's 2023 Back That Year Up, Simone shared that she and Jonathan argue about which one of them is the better athlete and about whether gymnastics or football is harder. During the interview, Simone said that they had a few fights about it before they got married and vowed that once they tied the knot, they would stop discussing it. But as old conflicts often do, it has continued coming back up even though they're married now. Simone made her opinion crystal clear during their interview. She said that gymnastics is undoubtedly more difficult than football. She claimed that they have swapped workouts before. He's done her gymnastics workout and she's done his NFL workout. And she said he very much struggled to do hers while she did his with ease. She was kind enough not to mention that she's also much better at gymnastics than he is at football. So it seems like Simone took her chance to respond to to Jonathan's comments. He told the world that he was the catch in their relationship, so she told the world that she was a better athlete than him. Hopefully, Jonathan learns some humility and starts appreciating how lucky he is to be with such an accomplished athlete. Simone is one of the best gymnasts out there, while Jonathan is still trying to make a name for himself in the NFL. She deserves more respect than Jonathan has given her. That's my opinion, at least. But I'd love to hear what you all think. Can you believe what Jonathan said? How do you think Simone should react to his comments? Let me know in the comments below.